Working at that company was never my dream, but it was the best I could find after months of job hunting. I needed to pay bills, help my parents, and keep myself standing after a rough time. At first, everything seemed normal. I did what they asked, met deadlines, smiled even when exhaustion hit me. But over time, I noticed something was off. People were afraid to speak, to make mistakes, even to breathe near the boss. Mr. Alvaro, the director, was the kind of man who loved reminding everyone who was in charge. He spoke loudly, humiliated employees during meetings, and seemed to take pleasure in turning people against each other. At the beginning, I tried to ignore it, thinking it was just his management style. But when he started cutting my pay for low productivity, even though I hit every target, I realized it was something much worse. One day, he called me into his office. "Do you think I don't see your attitude?" he said with that cold smile. I asked what he meant, and he replied that I was too ambitious for my place. At that moment, I realized he was afraid of anyone who showed the will to grow. And for some reason, I had become his new target. The following weeks were a nightmare. He sent me aggressive emails, gave me impossible tasks, and when I completed them, he found new ways to criticize me. Some coworkers started avoiding me, afraid of being dragged into it. Others pretended not to see. I went home exhausted, wondering if maybe the problem really was me. Until one day, as I picked up some papers he had thrown on the floor, I saw something that caught my eye, a spreadsheet with irregular payments and the names of people who didn't even work there anymore. That was when everything changed. I started gathering evidence carefully, without telling anyone. I copied documents, saved emails, and recorded conversations. It was risky, but I knew that if I stayed silent, nothing would ever change. I spent sleepless nights afraid of being caught, but also with a strange sense of relief. For once, I was doing something. After 2 months, I compiled everything and anonymously sent it to the company's legal department at headquarters, in another state. Weeks of silence followed until suddenly, the whole office atmosphere shifted. One morning, the regional director appeared unannounced, accompanied by auditors and lawyers. The doors closed and we were all called in for questioning. Alvaro tried to keep his composure, but the sweat on his forehead gave him away. When I finally saw him being escorted out of the building, I felt free. He had been fired for cause, accused of embezzlement and moral harassment. The feeling wasn't revenge, but justice. That afternoon, I sat at my desk, staring out the window, letting the sunlight warm my face. For the first time in a long while, I could breathe without fear. In the days that followed, the company felt like a completely different place. People laughed again in the hallways, meetings stopped feeling like battlegrounds, and projects started to flow. We found out that behind Alvaro's tyranny, there was a web of manipulation that even involved stolen bonuses. Everything came to light, and for the first time, everyone spoke their truth. Some co-workers later came to thank me, saying they knew what I'd done, even if I never admitted it. Others just smiled again, as if a heavy weight had finally lifted. The company went through major changes, and a few months later, I was promoted to coordinator. I still remember the day I got the news. I went to the restroom, looked in the mirror, and cried. Not out of sadness, but relief that I had survived it all. Now, when I look back, I realize that sometimes courage isn't about shouting, but about acting quietly. Justice may take its time, but it comes, and power without empathy is the fastest road to failure. I still work there, now with a team that understands the value of respect. Sometimes I see new employees come in with the same fear I once had, and I make sure to welcome them, to show them that things have changed. I've learned that leadership isn't about commanding, it's about inspiring. And no one should ever accept being treated as less than they are. When people ask me what kept me strong back then, I always say, the hope that doing what's right still matters. Because it does. It always does.